And here we go. We are now moved on to a song that was recommended to me that by the way, we're past the list now. So we are, this is all from recommendations that I saw people had that I wasn't able to get to in the list. So now here's the kind of like extra, the encore kind of part. So we're going to start with Shouldve Loved You More. So obviously, you can tell we got an album cover in the background. It's another B-side. Let's check it out. Whoa, very cool.
널 사랑하는 것보다 네가 날 사랑하는 게 크다고 말할 때 아니라 하지 말고 그때 알게 된 거야 우리가 익숙해진 거 같지 않냐고 할 때 난 이게 좋다고 했네 oh.
울었잖아 우리 노래가 끝나고도 울었네 그 순간 참으로 매정했던 우리 전화기 끊고서야 울었네 baby 바보 같죠 baby
Very interesting. You know, the interesting thing is when I listen to a group like Akmu and they put out, whenever any group decides to kind of branch out and put in an effort into a different genre that I think generally is very, you have to be very careful. And I say this with the utmost respect, don't get me wrong. And I mean, I grew up in a small town, and there's lots of cowboys and there's lots of country and blues, and you know, doing the whole working and tossing bales of hay and by the sweat of your brow kind of thing. And so I find it really interesting because my first feeling is, and I haven't really felt exactly like this actually since I did TVXQ when I think it was a group, maybe it was a singular song. Okay, I had to look it up. Max Chingman's Devil. because I was told it was very bluesy and what to expect and stuff like that. And even though this isn't necessarily like my favorite genre, I do feel like that because, you know, there's a lot of that around this town, that I feel like that there's a good understanding that I have of when it feels real, when it feels like the authentic thing. And sometimes for me the biggest turnoff is when people try different genres and then it doesn't feel like that they're being very genuine with it. I'll give you a big example. Machine Gun Kelly. I was always kind of the weird kid because I always chose the more alternative stuff instead of the, you know, country and blues and classic rock. You know, I wasn't going around listening to Queen very much. But when he put out his album Ticket to My Downfall, at first I was like, oh yeah, this is really cool. He's even got Travis Barker from Blink, and it sounded pretty decent. But as time went on, it kind of struck me that it didn't feel genuine. It didn't feel like he was doing it because he loved pop punk. And the truth is that when I started listening to this, I was like, oof, okay, here we go. How is this going to stack up? And, you know, luckily enough, it did. It actually did pretty good as a blues song. And, you know, the truth of the matter is that when it comes to stuff that's like that, for me personally, it has to be genuine, and you have to be able to feel what they're talking about. And I went and read the lyrics, and you know what? I can clearly and honestly say that this feels pretty real. It feels pretty real. It feels really good, especially for that bluesy kind of section. Very cool. Yeah, no, it's nice to see something like this done right. And you know, I know it sounds crazy because I know that there's a lot of stuff that's inspired by blues. There's a lot of people that kind of usurp blues in a lot of senses for a lot of things. And, you know, maybe I'm just being silly because I'm like trying to gatekeep blues and I very rarely listen to blues. But there's a part of me at the same time that, like, if you're going to do it right, you know. I don't know, maybe it's just that small town kind of vibe that I got, I guess. But it did. That's the beautiful thing. And so to feel like that they actually did it with respect and that they were genuine about it, I can appreciate this more. I like this. And it might not be something I put on all the time, but I do have to say that I'm glad to see that there's genuinity here, and that to me is big. And I know that as musicians they are highly respected, but I feel kind of weird because when it comes to this kind of more small town yokel kind of, like, you know, small town music, kind of like blues and bluegrass, and, you know, even to a smaller extent you can kind of get into like some campfire country kind of stuff. There's an emotional part to me that I think that has to be there, especially with, you know, because that's kind of what I grew up around, even though that wasn't really necessarily my music scene. There's a lot that kind of goes into it that I really kind of did appreciate, but seeing it taken care of by an artist on the other side of the world from where I grew up and doing it well, it's cool. So anyway, that was a long-winded explanation for nothing. I apologize. Anyway, we'll see you for the next video. Goodbye.